Well, I'm on the phone with Mark Shields, the head football coach at MDI High School, and I can't believe we're still talking. It's November 21st, and the season is finally over. Not the way we wanted it to end down at the state championship at Fitzpatrick Stadium on Saturday, but nevertheless, it's just been a magical ride. And if you would, Coach, just tell us a little bit about the game. I know that, Wells is a good defensive team.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, it's hard to believe that we're having this coach's show, and I'm seeing kids walking into the gym right now getting ready for tryouts for girls basketball, and I'm doing inventory in my office. But, yeah, it's been a magical season, and, yeah, it obviously didn't end, the way we wanted it to end versus Wells. We were hoping that we could be more competitive versus them for sure. I mean, we knew that they were obviously a very strong football team. They were the preseason pick to win state championship, and but we really thought that we could go down there and at least hang with those guys. And unfortunately, we just couldn't get it rolling offensively, and then. They're strong offensively. They have some big offensive linemen, and they, started to wear us down, and our defense did everything they could to hold on. But after a while, those guys did start busting some long ones on us, and, it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. And, it's difficult as coaches and players because, we've dedicated the season to our community, and we never want to disappoint our community. But I still think our community is extremely proud of what we accomplished this year, even though we didn't necessarily play that well down in Portland. It was just a great year overall.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, whenever the season ends, there's only one ultimate winner. And you were the one of two teams that were playing on the final day. I mean, the community is so proud of you, the boys. It's just been a magical season. Let's just talk a little bit about the sportsmanship award, because I think that kind of got lost in all the hype. And I thought with you sending out the injured players, Croy and Ezra and Alden, and I know I'm missing a few, but that just showed the class that MDI has and these boys, and they're so emblematic of the program because they were there the entire time, even though they were injured.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't normally see a team playing in a state championship and receiving the sportsmanship award. I mean, that usually just doesn't happen. The one other sportsmanship award that we've earned since I've been head coach was way back when, and my team, we went 0-9 that season. We started 7 sophomores on both sides of the ball. We were just a young team, and, this team is not that. This team is heavy with seniors and juniors, and sure enough, we get the sportsmanship award, which really did mean a lot to us. Because it just goes to show you what kind of character we have as far as our kids, and they're not only going out there and playing hard, and it's football is a physical game. I mean, it's not like other sports where you're playing and you're being competitive, but I mean, it's a physical game. You're out there, tackling people and blocking people and doing things like that, and then you have to keep your composure, and it sometimes is difficult. I mean, I played football throughout my life growing up, and it's hard when you are being that emotional on the field, but then continue to, maintain your composure and still have good sportsmanship. And our kids did that. We are respected within our conference, and excuse me, and it does feel good that the day we're down there for the state championship, we're also receiving the sportsmanship award.
We sit here a year after you were ready to get done. It's just been a magical year. If you would, give us a couple highlights of this year. When you look back, what are you going to remember about the 2016 season?
Yeah, I think definitely the win over Madison. That was just huge for the season, and the way that game just went down, the way it played out, winning it, with time running off the clock the way we did, and the excitement, and its homecoming, and it propelled us into first place. I think, that was probably the key moment of the season after we won that, thinking, wow, we are number one right now, and we can actually maybe bring home the first regional championship in the school history, and the kids took that seriously. And then obviously the second biggest highlight would have to be beating Winslow for the regional championship. I mean, we'd only beaten Winslow one other time in school history back in 2010, and to beat them is something in itself, but then to beat them for the Northern Maine Championship was just huge, and it was one of the greatest moments of my coaching career for sure. And I know it meant a lot to a lot of people in our community, and and then thirdly, just the fact that going to Fitzpatrick Stadium and playing for a state championship. I remember talking to Bunky Dow, my athletic director, as the kids are getting ready and the sun's shining on our faces, and looking at the stadium, just saying, "Wow, we're here. We made it." Wondered if you ever would get there, and there we stood. Just so proud to think that our kids are going to step on that field. So those are some major highlights, and and with this group, it was such a strong group of kids as far as how close they were. The day-to-day stuff was just awesome. The small moments, in practice, and the moments that we had back at Schoodic Institute when we spent the night together, and those things add up into great moments for me. And for me, I've always felt like, the relationships with the kids are so much more important than the wins and losses. And I tell my kids all the time, and our coaching staff believes this, that the most important thing on the field each night won't be that scoreboard. The most important thing on the field is going to be them. And I honestly believe that.
Yeah, you can't say that any better. Talk about when you turned around from the bench and looked up in the bleachers about that. I mean, the side was full. I mean, I saw vans down there that were decorated. Natasha Oliersick sent me pictures of a van that was just incredible. And she said driving down the highway, they had like foam fins on top, and they had all the numbers on there, and it was 32 players, one heartbeat. I mean, it had to have been goosebumps turning around and seeing the Trojan signs as you left the island. Just that whole community rallying behind the team.
Yeah, it really was, Chris. Leaving the island and seeing the signs on the telephone poles, and there was a fire truck parked at the informational center on Thompson's Island. I believe that was my good friend Steve Corson, and they had a sign, "Go Trojans," and a lot of signs. Even heading into Ellsworth, I think it was Ellsworth Chainsaw maybe had a sign, "Go Trojans." It just felt great, and you're right. I mean, I remember. I was talking to my wife yesterday. We had lunch together up to Pat's Pizza. And
wow, something new, huh?
I know. We actually had some time alone, and I said to her, the most magical moment for the state championship for that day was when we walked on the field for warm-ups, and you could see the crowd on the MDI side, and I walked over to the bench to put something down, and I looked, and I just put my finger up number one, and the crowd just went nuts, and it was such a sense of just pride to be part of something so special, and to be part of such a community that's so special, and it really did mean so much to me, and then I started tearing up, and I was talking to my wife, and I'll probably start tearing up now.
Well,
but, it was a special moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a magical season. Now, you've got a lot of people to thank.
Yeah. So I had to make a list, and I probably still will leave somebody out, and if I do, I truly apologize. But the first person I want to thank is Chris Popper from WDEA. Chris, I can't thank you enough. The time that you spend promoting athletics at MDI High School, and I know other high schools, Ellsworth, and I think Bucksport as well. But I mean, the ongoing joke that I have for you is I don't know when you sleep, and I really don't. I mean, you're on the road all the time and away from your own family, and it really means a lot to our program for sure in our school. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Islander, Taylor Bigler, she's been great this year covering us. Definitely thank Bunky Dial, my athletic director. He's my boss, and I couldn't ask for a better boss to have. He's been supportive. When I took over back in 2003, from day one, he's never said no to me. If there's something that I need, he's going to get it for me, and he's one of our biggest fans, if not our biggest fan, and I know he's been proud to be part of this. And thank the administration, obviously my principal, Matt Haney, and our new superintendent, Mark Gauss, and they were super excited. They were there on the sideline with us, and it means a lot that they're supporting us. I also want to thank the cheerleaders. I think sometimes the cheerleaders get lost in all of this, and they're there as long as we are. Their season has been as long as ours, and they're the ones making the banners, and I don't know if they put the signs up, they may have, but they do that, I know, for other sports. And there's just a lot of stuff, homecoming, a lot of stuff that they do behind the scenes that nobody knows about, and it's just, it's expected that it happens, and somebody's got to do that stuff, and the cheerleaders do that, so I can't thank them and their coach enough. And Walter Churchill for all his photos that he takes for us, just awesome. I'd like to thank the Ives family. Their son, Brandon Tokus, played for us back in the day. He was one of my players and played for Toogie McKay, and they make cookies for us every game. They deliver cookies to our locker room every game with all the kids' names on them, chocolate chip cookies, and it really means a lot to our team and our players, and plus they taste great. And I think I had about 10 of them on the ride home after the game on Sunday. The parents, and once again, I know I'm going to forget some people, but we just had such a great group of parents over the years, and this year no different. Ingrid Kajmar, for starters, I don't know when she actually does a real job over there at the Harbor House, but she has spent a lot of time, taking care of things for us, and there was a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes, once again, that I had no idea was going on, and I didn't have to worry about, and I can't thank these parents enough. So Ingrid Kajmar, the Carroll family for sure, the Phelps family, the Ritter family, the Lawson family, the Lee family. There's numerous families, and I know I'm probably forgetting some other family members, so please just know that we truly appreciate everything that you've done. The community, once again, all the donors that WDA has posted on their website that gave, for these kids to have, we had the charter bus down there. We had pizza delivered right to the stadium. I mean, there was cash given to us for anything that we needed. And then just the support that the community has given us over, this season has just been unbelievable. And as I said before, it was just a sense of pride for me, and I know our players that, they were there for us, and they made the long trek down to Portland, and, it just felt so good that they were behind us. And then, once again, my staff, Mark Arnold, Tony DeMiro, Chris McGuire, Ian Braun, those guys, a lot of times the head coach gets too much credit or too much blame, and in this case, I'm getting way too much credit. Those guys behind the scenes are doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff, and I can just focus on what I need to focus on as a head coach. And they all have families, and they're spending a lot of time focusing on football and away from their families, and I can't thank them enough. I mean, they are as close to me as my own brother, and I love those guys very much. And hopefully we can keep this going for a while together, because it's just been great. And then, of course, the players. It's just been an amazing group of kids. These guys, right from day one, a lot of them in the off season, and then from day one, August 15th, and here we are, November 21st, and those guys gave everything they had right from day one. We're doing 2-a-days kids are throwing up on the side of the field or doing stations, and they get right back in their station and they keep working hard, and they just there was a lot of sense of pride for them to play for their school and their community. They took that stuff seriously, and they were super proud to know that they represented MDI high school and their community, and they definitely felt that way when they stepped on the field on Saturday for the state championship. And I mean, I tell those guys all the time that I love them, and I do. I tell those guys all the time that I'm a cursed man because I just love MDI football players. I always have, and I always will. And these guys have the most heart of any people I've ever been associated with. They just do. They're just tough, hard-nosed kids with a lot of heart, and they've won a lot of football games with heart alone, and I'm just so proud to say that I'm their head coach. And then lastly, once again, my family, my wife, Holly, and my oldest, Madeline, she's a senior this year, getting ready to head off to college next year. My Delaney, she's a sophomore, and then my Jacob, he's a fifth grader. And, the time that I'm away from them, I know it can be difficult at times, but they're the first ones to say, Dad, we want you to keep coaching. And once again, I'll start tearing up here again. When I stepped on the field on Saturday, they all had letters for me, telling me how proud of me that they were. So it has been a lot. So I can't thank them enough and love them very much.
All right. Well, it's been a fantastic season. It's gone on way longer than, and we'll share the fact that Justin Norwood, the men's basketball coach, sent you a congratulatory email saying thanks for ruining the start of my season as well. So because they've got tryouts today, and the boys, a lot of the boys that were on the football team are going to be key components for the basketball team, and they're going to go from hitting to not touching and not getting fouls on the basketball court.
Yeah. Good luck with that with Graham Good, right? Oh man.
Exactly. And
we're hoping we can continue to ruin his tryouts every year if we can keep going this far in the playoffs. So.
Well, I can just imagine our first basketball game is this Saturday, November 26th, when MDI takes on Freiburg, and I'm so used to calling football that I imagine we're going to have a jump ball from the 50-yard line. So
definitely. Oh man. Well, I know those guys are going to have a great season, and I know some of our guys are swimmers and do other stuff too, and probably indoor track. But those guys are winners, and they're going to be successful. And I'm just hoping that they all have great winter seasons and spring sports seasons, and then before you know it, we'll strap it back on for football one more time in the fall.
All right, Coach. Have a good day. Go learn as part of your in-service the day down there at MDI High School.
Yes, I am super focused on the in-service day today. Make sure if you see Matt Haiti, you tell him that I said that. So.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.